Hello, everyone. Welcome back to John's Basement Podcast. This is episode 2, and I've put aside recording this for long enough, I think. I'm going to take a quick second to say that this podcast is not being sponsored by Kadio, but I'm definitely going to shout them out. If you don't know what Kadio is, you're lucky because I do. Um, Kadio is this awesome new service for musicians and music lovers, anyone who works in the music business or around music business, photographers, musicians, producers, mixers, all of you guys alike. Um, it's this new free service for college students that have an EDU college email address, and you just have to plug that in, sign up, start posting. I'm a campus representative for it for Pace University. I'm very obsessed with the program, and I love working with them. The shout out that I'm giving is due to the fact that I am going to be uploading every podcast going forward, this one included, first to Quadio. So if you want to get early access to listening to my podcast, if you're listening to this on Spotify or any other means, sign up for Quadio. All you got to do is put in your EDU email address, and you will be able to listen to this within the first second of me uploading this. Basically, it takes me about a day to get one of my podcasts to Spotify and any other platform, thanks to Anchor.fm, which is an awesome service, but it does take a day. Quadio will let me directly upload, so if you want to listen early and not wait a full day between me finishing this and just putting it out there, sign up to Quadio, stay on Quadio for some really cool stuff. There's amazing stuff happening there, and yes, that's all I have to say about that. You can hear me breathing. I'm all out of breath. I just figured out how to use this new microphone. It's not a new microphone. I've actually had it for about 5 years, but it is new to me because I've never been technologically capable of figuring out how to use it. Oh my god, out of breath. I'm all excited because I finally figured out how to get this at a nice sound quality and level without a major hiss. I'm not good at this stuff. I'm great at writing songs. I am shit at recording them. So, um, if you're listening to this on Quadio and you have access to my DMs, send me a how-to guide on how to be even semi-decent at recording anything to do with audio because I have a lot of good equipment. I just don't know how to fucking use it. So we're gonna hope. I really hope you can't hear my dog. This mic is like super hot and sensitive. I'm using an Audio Technica recording mic. I don't know the model, but I know that if I knew how to use it, this would be a great microphone. I know that I do not know how to use it, but I know I'm hearing in my monitors my dog galloping upstairs. You probably can hear it. I'm going to hope you can't. We're going to pretend that you can't and pray. But yeah, I am rambling. Oh my god. But welcome. Episode 2. I hope everyone's self-quarantine is consistent. I hope you are self-quarantining. I'm going to try to limit everything I talk about that comes to COVID-19 for the sake that I myself am going fucking crazy every time I open my phone, every time I turn on the TV, anything. Every time I open anything, it is everywhere. It feels like there is no escaping. So I'm going to try to limit any talk on this podcast of it because I'm sure anything that I say will not be the first time you hear it. Hopefully you get like a 45-minute window with this to just kind of tune out and listen to music and listen to whatever very pointless rants that I have to go along with it. Yeah. So I have spoken way too long, and if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you, and you're wonderful. If you saw my last episode, you basically know that the most important purpose of this podcast is I'm trying to promote any artist that I know personally or who reaches out to me. I'm very loose with that. I just want to make sure that every artist that is upcoming gets a chance to be promoted. So I'm just going to dive straight into the first artist. Today, I'm very excited that I will be playing my friend Buster's song from his band Cheap 52. This is a very fitting song for our current state of everything. This song is called Isolation. It's originally off of his debut EP off of Cheap 52. It's a wonderful EP. You should all listen to it. I have listened to it many times. And here we go. Isolation by Cheap 52.
Holding it in, it's no sin. They've crushed your dreams all of your life. Trying to be what you wanna be, but then again, they'll never see. Gonna find a way through this shitty day, and it's not quite feeling right. Time is ticking, and I'm thinking that this is not my fight. Isolation, in this frustration, you have a mental state, and I have a mental nation. Complications from the duration of a lifetime. Let's go. I wanna shout, I wanna drop out, I want you to hear my voice somehow. 'Cause you don't know me, and you won't know me, and you'll have to understand this isn't who I want to be. Isolation and this frustration, you have a mental state, and I have a mental nation. Complication from the duration of a lifetime. Holding it in, you'll never win. They'll put you further down. Trapped for years, you don't belong here. So you're gonna have to make it clear. Isolation, this frustration, you have a mental state, and you have a mental nation. Complication from the duration of a lifetime.
There are so many things that I could say about Buster. I go so far back with him, and I am such a good friend of his, and he is an amazing friend of mine, and he's a wonderful person in addition to being such a talented musician. If I were to go back to how I met him, it's pretty cool. He actually had come to one of my old band's shows that I played in a garage in my local town that I used to play a lot at, and he introduced himself. He was at the time with a mutual friend, and she introduced us, and he and I just clicked, and we exchanged phone numbers, and years later, when I was starting my current band, Spitfire, and I was at a kind of low point of not being in my old band anymore, but still wanting to make music and different music than I was writing in the past. Buster was the first person to really help me out in tremendous ways. He is a very talented individual who can play every instrument, basically. So he was a really good drummer, and I needed a drummer at least for studio means, and he volunteered to not only be my session drummer but also to record and produce my first EP, and eventually he even produced our album that we have out, Sunset Skies, which is just it's I owe so much of my own career to him, and he's just it's been such a joy getting to watch his career blossom. He he wasn't even in his own band when he met me, and I think one of the greatest compliments that I've ever received was him telling me that after seeing my old band's show that first time, that's what inspired him to want to do it himself, and he has far surpassed me in ability and in knowledge and in just every way, and I could not be more blessed to be his friend, and I hope that I continue to get to see all the stuff that he has in the works. He's got some awesome stuff planned for you. I don't know what I can publicly say, so I will just say stay tuned for some awesome new stuff. He is cooking it up. And yeah, he is just incredible. His lyrical writing capabilities are just so profoundly professional. Like I definitely pride myself on my lyrics, but when I listen to his words, it's just like, oh, time to go back and edit my stuff, because damn, he's so good. He makes me want to be a better musician overall too, which is cool. It's really important, I think, to have friends that inspire you just as much as the legends that you have on your bedroom walls inspire you. I think that personally, I'm most inspired by the people that I come into contact with at shows, or my friends who are musicians and are doing awesome stuff, and he is just he does everything. All of his existing music, I think, is all him, which is so impressive. I tried that and it does not sound by any means to the level that his stuff sounds. Like, you wouldn't even know that it's just one dude on all those recordings. So yeah, that was Buster from Cheap 52. You should absolutely check out his music. He has a full album out and an EP that came before it, and he has a single out called Ritalin, which is also an amazing single. Yeah, I have nothing but positive things to say about that guy. He is a wonderful human being. He is an amazing artist. He is so talented, and everyone should go support him. He is going to Drexel University in Philly next year. He's a year younger than me, and I'm very excited for him. I'm very excited for Drexel, because they don't know it yet, but they're gaining one of the most talented people that I know. So yeah, that was Cheap 52. Check them out. Give them a follow on social media. And yeah, I think it's time to get into the next artist. The next artist that I'm going to play for you guys is under the alias Kadio. It is my friend Katie. She is also a very talented individual. I am a huge fan of anything she has put out. And the song that I'm going to be playing for you guys is her song, Speak in Code, off of her most recent EP that you should all check out. That's Kadio, Kadio. And here we go.
We speak in code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count the letters, count the numbers, count the clicks. clicks. We speak in phrases that nobody can find. We conversate in circles in the back of our minds. We dance to nothing but the sound of our feet. Our lips are speaking something but they never meet. I hope you run as fast as you can. Send out your message to your man. I cannot begin to describe how I really feel inside. There's just no words, no way to denote what I feel the need to say. There's fire burning in your eyes and smoke that smolders in your mind. I know I'll be choking for a while. You want a problem that is no resolution. You want to spill your sympathies with no persecution. I read the signs and baby, I'm no solution. I am a conversation with no certain conclusion. We speak in code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count the letters, count the numbers, count the clicks. We speak in phrases that nobody can find. We conversate in circles in the back of our minds. We dance to nothing but the sound of our feet. Our lips are speaking something but they never meet. I hope you run as fast as you can. Send out your message to your man. I'm overthinking like I always do. I'm stuck on getting stuck on you. Nothing to see here, just watch as I go and disappear. There's something hollow in your eyes. Was that hides within your smile? Why don't you stay here for a while? You want a problem that has no resolution. You want to spill your sympathies with no persecution. I read the signs that baby I'm no solution. I am a conversation with no certain conclusion. You talk so rapidly when nothing is wrong. Your lyrics and your melody are two different songs. There's something burning in the back of your gaze. I'm lost inside your maze. We speak in code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count the letters, count the numbers, count the clicks. We speak in phrases that nobody can find. We conversate in circles in the back of our minds. We dance to nothing but the sound of our feet. Our lips are speaking something
That was Kadio's song Speak in Code off of her most recent EP, Circle Round the Sun. Very amazing EP. Every song, there are 4 songs on it. They are amazing, amazing songs that you should absolutely check out. You will not regret it. Katie is an awesome individual. I know Katie. Actually, I don't know which came first is where I'm fuzzy, but I used to run a music scene in high school for pretty much all of high school, actually. I started doing it at the end of my freshman year until I graduated. And we started out pretty small and we got pretty big by the time I graduated. What was cool though was I remember I was always looking for different bands to play the shows because when I first took over, a lot of bands in the town graduated. So it was like there was a surplus of bands, and then there was like a vacuum, and then it was like just my band and like one other band. So I remember I was searching through social media, through mutual friends, through anyone I knew who knew musicians, and I stumbled across these kids from a school of rock that was nearby who were in this new band called Distract the Guards, and they were really good. They played one show, I think. They played one of our local shows, and then they broke up, and they all did their own different things, and I'm not going to play them in this episode, but I hope to play them in either the next one or a future one. Toby, I think he was the guitarist of that band. Either the guitarist or the bassist, one of the two. He broke off to do Dead End, which is doing very well for themselves right now. Awesome band too. And Sophia, who was the drummer of that band, ended up becoming the singer actually for a hard rock metal band called Lunatic Fringe, which unfortunately broke up, but they were really good, and she's also a very incredible performer. Yeah, and I actually taught James as a student of mine when I ended up working at that school of rock later on, who was the bassist, I think, of that band. Pretty sure James was the bassist and Toby was the guitarist. That's what I think. I think they're twins. James is awesome too. James was, like I said, he was my student for a while, and very good time teaching him. He was really fun to just chill with for 45 minutes and play music with. But yeah, Katie was in that band, and then Katie ended up working at the School of Rock in like my last month that I worked there myself. So it's cool how it actually started me meeting her through just being a musician, and then ended up like staying in contact with her through working at the same job together, which was pretty cool. I don't know if Katie has officially announced that she's doing new stuff. I know she said it on her Instagram that she's planning on it, and I hope she does because I love her music. She is so talented. She has a beautiful voice and an incredible vocal range. So one of my favorite things to listen to in her music is all those amazing angelic harmonies that she puts in there. So yeah, that was Kadio, Kadio. You should definitely check her out. She has an EP out and she has a single. They're all great. It's only 5 songs that will not take up much of your time, and you will not regret it. Okay, so let's get into the final artist. The last artist that I'm going to play on this episode is called Idlewave. They are a band from Asbury Park, New Jersey, and I go pretty far back with these guys. They're really cool dudes, and the song that I will be playing by them is a song called Alpern, which is the first song on their discography on Spotify at the very least. It's a single. It's a really great song. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go right into it.
What are you trying to say? Just write it down like everything else. Keep it to yourself for a while in the meantime. Perfect situation. Not staying out too late and waking up without the weight of the world on your eyelids. I prefer anyone that's knowing. New mixes in my car, and my first February with you. This won't happen again.
That was Alpern by Idlewave, a band from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Some really cool facts about them that I have of my own personal accords is they are, I think they're currently a four-piece. Guy and Joey are the guys that I go farthest back with. It's really cool for me to look back at my relationship with those guys because I met them also in my old band when I was about 14 years old, I think. Yeah, they were one of the bands that were booked for a show that I played at this arcade that is unfortunately no longer around. It was a literal like old school arcade that had a bar and a designated space that they used to do concerts at, which was pretty cool. I'm really sad that I only found out about it at the show that I played, which was actually the last show that the venue ever did before they closed down. Really wish I got to enjoy that a little bit longer, but such is life. Idlewave was under the name of Flammable Animals at that time, actually, and Flammable Animals were fucking great too. They were a pop punk band, and it's really cool. They just we had brought like for our size crowd, what was pretty big, but for like it was really like 15, 20 people. It was a small room, so it felt like we had a lot of people, and our crowd was moshing, and they were really digging their sound too. So they were happy to see that there was a music scene still going on in the suburbs of New York. They're from pretty far away, so I guess it was pretty cool. It's always cool when you're a band and you're playing somewhere that isn't your hometown, and there's people that are enjoying music in general, especially if it's your music. So I imagine that was pretty cool for them. And like I previously mentioned, I used to run a music scene, so I always frequently invited those guys to play our shows. They played in my backyard once. They played a lot of shows actually at the community center that we used to do shows at in Nyack, New York, and I don't know if they played one in the American Legion that I used to do shows at, but they definitely played the Nyack Center with us, and I know for a fact that they played my backyard. Those were really fun times. It's really cool too because one of my favorite things about that music scene is that it was such a big part of a lot of people's lives. I mean, it was my everything because it's what I was doing for basically work, but also for fun. And it was a big deal for a lot of the people who went to them frequently. We had a pretty consistent following of people that would come to every show, and it didn't really matter who was playing them. It was just they heard that there was a show going on and they would come, and that was a cool outlet for a lot of my musician friends because I got to introduce them to a consistent crowd that just likes music, and I got to introduce all the people that came to those shows to new music. That was really cool. And I mean, I was a freshman in high school when I met these dudes, and when they were under their old name of Flammable Animals, and I look back and there's still people that graduated years before I did that still wear their Flammable Animals t-shirts or their Idlewave merch. I wear my Idlewave shirt like all the fucking time. It's like my favorite shirt. Um, yeah, it's really cool to see how music like affects it has like an everlasting impact on people's lives to the point where it's like, yeah, I remember that band. They were that cool pop punk group from when I was in high school, and you still remember that, and you still rep their merch, and you still support them on social media, and it's just cool. It's like it's a consistent fan base, and it comes from good memories. At least it does for me. I know that it was really funny. I went to Warp Tour the supposed last year that it was around, and I even ran into the dudes just at the festival there, which is always fun. It's really cool when you just run into people that you know, like in a place that's not either of your hometown. So I always get like, I'm like, whoa, that's cool shit. Even though it's like a very common interest thing to attend for everyone that I'm friends with. Yeah, so that was those were my three artists. To recap, we played songs from Cheap 52, Kadio, and Idlewave. And you should definitely check all of those guys out. I'm going to put their names in the description and the title of this podcast. And yeah, if you yourself are an artist and you have music out, no matter what the genre is, feel free to send it to me. I will listen to it. I will definitely listen to it. Don't think that I'm just gonna plug it in. I will be listening to your music, and just send me an email, send it to me via Google Drive or a Gmail email, and my email is jmftmedia@gmail.com. My goal is to just promote as many artists as I can on this podcast and talk about them as much as I can in a positive light. If you have anything you want me to promote, like an upcoming release, I can't really say shows for the obvious near future because shows are kind of all canceled right now. But if you have an album coming out or an EP or a single, or if you're doing a collaborative project with a different artist, whatever you want me to talk about, send it in the email and just say I'd really like you to mention whatever, and you got it. That's pretty much as simple as it gets. If you're listening to this on Kadio too, you can feel free to DM me and tell me what song you want me to plug. MP3s and WAV files work best, but if I have to make a screen recording and put that in and just extract the audio from that, I can do that too. Whatever's easiest. It's easiest for me if you send me an MP3 or a WAV file, though, just saying. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I think I'm going to try to start doing interviews in the next one that I do. That would be pretty cool. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. I have to figure out if I'm going to, like, screen record a Skype call, because with this whole social distancing thing, it's not as simple as just having someone show up. But I can get creative with that. I'm sure there's a million different means that I could figure that out. That shouldn't be too hard. 15-minute conversation via phone call or Skype call or even Snapchat audio or Instagram audio, whatever. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the audio quality of my voice. I definitely feel more official using an actual microphone and not a gaming headset. But maybe it sounds like shit. So I think it sounds pretty good for my personal standards, but you guys are my audience. So if you say go back to the headset, I suppose I have to listen to that. And if you have tips to maybe make me be able to make this sound better, please let me know, and do not refrain from messaging me or commenting, whatever. This is going to go up on Kadio, like, now. And it's going to go up on Spotify within 24 hours. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to play my own band song as a playout. Kind of cheating on the whole 3-band rule, but it is my podcast, and I will be shamelessly self-plugging. So, yeah, I'm going to play a song by my band called Spitfire. Feel free to check us out. I'm going to put the name in the description and also the title of the band. And go check out my first episode if you like this one. I put 3 other artists in that, and they are not the same ones. So that's 6 whole new artists that you get to discover if you just even not listen to my entire podcast, but just read the title of. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys when I make episode 3. Thank you.
I've got an hour before I have to go home, unless I make a friend to make me not alone. Despite the solitude that I keep in my head, my body's telling me that I can't go to bed. I don't have time to grieve, and you are just what I need. You just need to keep up. We can stay out till the sun comes up. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance. so much energy that radiates a light. And in addition, I hope I don't have to fight. I don't have time to breathe, and you are just what I need. You just need to keep up. We can stay out till the sun comes up. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance with me. Dance, dance, dance.
You're still here? Wow, that's dedication. I can tell we're going to get along great. So, if you're still here, you may as well just check out my band's Redbubble. Spitfire Official on everything. No, that's not true. Spitfire Band on everything. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Twitter. I run the Instagram. Our bassist, my best friend Michael, runs the Twitter. They are very different in terms of tone. But you will find consistent on both of those platforms that we have a link to our link tree, which has our Redbubble page. Please check that out. One of the best ways that you can support bands and musicians right now is buy merch like crazy. You can put in your debit card information. If you have any money saved up that you don't need for necessities, please, please, please buy a sticker, buy a shirt, buy a throw pillow. We do have those. Buy anything that you can afford. It goes a long way. It helps us out a lot in the long run. And when the world becomes normal again, we can use that money to tour and hopefully come to a location near you. Thank you again for watching. Thank you again for listening. And please, 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 please buy my merch. You guys are wonderful, and I will see you on episode 3.